Hey everyone, and welcome to Memory Recall number 19. This is Mr. Walton. We're going to crack on with today's GCSE Higher questions. You'll be aware by now in these videos that what we try and do is do an interleaving starter to start with. So 4 questions picked quite carefully by me to make sure that we keep some of the same questions from previous times and then some new ones. The idea being that you might have forgotten some of the key bits, and then we're going to practice to kind of get more familiar with them. And similarly, towards the end, we're going to do a facts and formula test to see how we get on there. So here are your 4 questions for today. Read the questions carefully, then have a go, and I'll show you the answers in a second. And here are the solutions. So the first question, how much money would I have if I invested £2,750 at a rate of 2.25% compound interest over 10 years? So your calculation here is what you started with, 2750, multiply by a multiplier. So this is 1.0225 to the power of 10, because you've got 10 years. And type it in your calculator, you're going to get an answer. The decimal continued, so remember we're dealing with money, so I've rounded it to 2 decimal places, and they are my pence. Next question, probability of rolling a prime number and flipping ahead. This is on a fair regular dice and a fair coin. So the probability of getting a prime number is a half, because you've got 2, 3 and 5 out of your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probability of getting ahead is also a half. Prime and a half. Remember that when we're doing probability, and means to multiply, so you multiply your 2 fractions together and get a quarter. We're going to expand this, so remember each time you multiply the term on the outside by each of the terms on the inside. So 4y to the 5 times y is 4y to the 6, and 4 times 3 is 12. Y to the 5 over a y leaves me with y to the 4. And finally, we've got to solve this trig equation, tan x equals 3 between 0 and 360 degrees. Find your principal value on your calculator first, so do tan to the minus 1 of 3. That gives you 71.57 degrees. And then using symmetry to find the next value. We remember that tan repeats every 180 degrees, so this is probably the easiest one to do. You add 180 degrees to your value and you get your second one. So we've got 2 values for x, we've got 71.57 and 251.57 degrees. Today's formula, we've got 6 questions. Again, I've mixed them up a little bit, added some old ones in, added a new one in, and kept some the same. So pause the video, have a go, see how you get on. And here are your answers. So equation of a straight line, y equals mx plus c. How do you work out the gradient? Well, that's the same m as here. It's your change in y over change in x, or rise over run if you prefer. Root a times root b is the same as root AB. This is a new one I've added in. Area of any triangle, half AB sine C. Your quadratic formula, x equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And finally, good old Pythagoras, we've got a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c is the hypotenuse, the longest side. Okay, hopefully you're finding these videos useful. I keep trying to do them for you so that we've got mixing up some of the different skills. We need to be able to do the exam style questions. We need to be able to recall our facts and formula, and we need to be able to make sure that we're doing these all the time. So that, you know, I've just replied to an email today to a student, and I've prioritised doing these videos. So if you are feeling like you're a little bit behind, I would suggest make sure that you do your practice papers, your lockdown papers, that you do these videos before doing some of the other stuff. This is going to keep a good variety of things fresh in your mind. And when we do get back to school, we can always pick up some of the topics that we've taught remotely. We can make sure that we revise those again in more detail. So don't worry too much. Okay, hopefully you find it useful, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye.